Everybody, we're back for 9.4, day 2, part 2. I know the numbers and the letters get confusing. If I could go back and change everything, I kind of would, just for naming purposes on Google Classroom and Skyward, but this is good enough for now. So if you notice, we're back to the normal notes. Yesterday, we did just a notes app, kind of me going through a few examples. That was because the problems up here, I got like halfway through them, and I realized on the second page that they're past what we should be doing for COVID, like with the shutdown. So we're back to this. These are a little bit easier. And yeah. So today we're doing the exact same thing as yesterday, but now instead of multiplying these rational expressions, today we are dividing. Now to divide, remember, we factor everything, factor all parts of the expression. Then instead of multiplying, we're going to keep, switch, flip, and then multiply. So it's the exact same thing, but now instead of multiplying, we're dividing. So we're going to flip the second part of the fraction, and then everything is the exact same. Okay, so what I'm going to do in number 1, it says divide the rational expression. I'm not even going to look at anything. I'm just going to rewrite it as 3 over 4x minus 8 times, and then I'm going to flip this guy. Keep, switch, I switch the sign. Now I'm going to flip the fraction, x squared plus x minus 6, x squared plus 3x on bottom. Now everything's the exact same. I'm going to factor what I can. So again, I'm going to write something times something. I just rewrote the parts because I'm going to factor each part that I can. One part I can't factor is the red, the 3. You can't factor just a 3, so it stays 3. Let's go down to yellow. 4x minus 8. You should know, well, you can factor out a 4 out of both of those. So it's 4 times x minus 2. Upper right, we're looking for numbers that multiply to negative 6 and add to 1. That should be x plus 3 and x minus 2. Okay, bottom right now, x squared plus 3x. We can factor out an x, and we get x times, divide each by x, x plus 3. So now what I'm going to do is just start crossing off what I had, the same thing on top and bottom. X plus 3, x plus 3. X minus 2, x minus 2. Okay, what's left on top? I'm going to highlight what's left because it does get kind of messy. There's this, this, and this. We have a 3 on top. We have a 4x on bottom. 3 over 4x, final answer. Again, keep, switch, flip, factor, cancel, factor, cancel. Okay, next up, I see right away, hey, this is division, so what do I need to do? I got to write it as 8x squared plus 10x minus 3 over 4x squared times, now this is really over 1, so when I flip it, it's 1 over 4x squared minus x. Okay, so again, I'm going to factor what I can, so it equals something times something. I can't factor just a 1. I also can't factor the bottom left, which is just 4x squared. Let's do the easiest one first. So which one looks easier to factor? Yellow or green? I would definitely say green looks easier. And I can factor out an x. And what's left then is 4x minus 1. Okay, now I got to factor out this ugly guy. So I need numbers that multiply to 8. 1 and 8, or 4 and 2, and numbers that multiply to 3, which are just 3 and 1. Okay, so I know, what do I know? Well, it's either 1 and 8 or 3 and 1, so I know it has to be a 1 and a 3, because those are my only options to multiply to get to 3. But again, I need to get to 10 in the middle by adding and subtracting, so let's try 1 and 8. 1 times 3 is 3. 8 times 1 is 8. Can you get 10 out of 8 and 3? No. So let's go the other way. 1 times 1 is 1. 8 times 3 is 24. Can't get to 10 by 24 and 1. Okay, let's go to the next one. 4 times 3 is 12. 2 times 1 is 2. Can you get to 10 with 12 and 2? Well, yeah. It'd be 12 minus 2. So how did we do that? Well, again, we did 4 times 3. So if I needed to do 4 times 3, that means 4x has to go here, because when I would FOIL that out, 4 times 3 is 12. So I did 4 times 3, and then I did 2x times 1. Now I want a plus 10x in the middle, so there'd be a plus 1 here and a minus 1 there. So this factors down to 4x minus 1 and 2x plus 3. And now look what happens. What cancels out? Well, I have 4x minus 1 and 4x minus 1. Now, can I cancel out anything else? I cannot cancel these two because my 2x is inside parentheses. So 2x plus 3 times 1 is just 2x plus 3, bottom 4x squared. Final answer. Okay, here we go. Last one. We have 16xy over 3x to the 5th, y to the 5th, times, keep switch flip, so 9x y to the 7th over 8x squared. Now, this, I can't factor anything because everything is just one term, so let's start to cancel. 16 and 8 reduces to 2 and 1. 9 and 3, reduce to 3 and 1. Now, I'm going to encourage you guys to, when we have a problem like this where we can't factor anything, it's just letters and numbers, I would first just reduce numbers and then combine your letters, because otherwise it gets really, 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 really messy when you go through all this. So what I'm going to do now is just do 2 times 3 is 6. Now let's count my x's up top. I have 1 here, so it's x squared. Now let's count my y's. I got y to the 7th turns into y to the 8th. Let's do the bottom now. So it's going to be over, okay, 1 times 1. Well, I don't have to write a 1 right here. It's just going to be 1. Now let's do our x's. I have 5 here, 2 here. I'm going to do it in green so I stay consistent. 5 here, 2 here. That's x to the 7th. For my y's, I just have a y to the 5th right there. Now all we got to do is reduce what we can. So 6 is my only number, so 6 is going to be up top. For my x's, which is bigger, top or bottom? Bottom's bigger. By how many? 5. For my y's, which is bigger, top or bottom? Top is bigger. By how many? 3. 6, y to the 3rd over x to the 5th is your final answer. And